And greetings from me, Dennis Sinnott. You know, a whole new style of composing music and writing lyrics has arrived in the form of digital songwriting. By using high-tech home studio equipment and software, you can now record your music and lyrics at the same time as you actually write your songs. In the 60s and 70s, the most any young songwriter could have hoped for would have been a 10-50-50 song deal with a music publisher. Any music publisher. Whether or not the songs would have been published was another matter. At that time, the ratio of works accepted but not actually published may have been less than 8 in every 100. In reality, most songs acquired by publishers were left on the shelf to gather dust. If any were eventually published, mainly because an artist had recorded his work, it would have made the average songwriter feel like he'd won a week in heaven, especially if they had printed his music. If you could go back in a time machine and reveal to Mr. 60's songwriter-producer that today he could not only record it and arrange and mix his own songs in a virtual home studio, he could also publish, release, distribute, and with the aid of MIDI, print off the sheet music in several keys all in the same day, he would probably have had a heart attack. So what is this thing called digital music, and why did it have such an impact on the music industry? Believe it or not, digital was first introduced as a kind of upgrade to its older cousin analog. Actually, there are still some recording artists and producers today who prefer analog, claiming there's a quality or originality to it that cannot be captured or reproduced using digital. Recordings in the 60s, for example, are famous for having a distinctive analog sound, still preferred by some, while others prefer digital, not just in recording, but also for the advantages in transmitting, distributing, storing, retrieving, and even reconfiguring electronically. You may get a better idea of digital if you compare it directly to analog. Think of analog as a speedometer in a car. The speed you're travelling is revealed by the arrow moving round the dial. Digital, on the other hand, can only function by using zeros and ones, and may be restricted in reading the values to a tenth in between numbers. One of the many difficulties which have now been overcome is in changing digital to analog and vice versa. Interestingly, a compact disc functions by using both analog and digital. The audio sounds exists initially in analog, then the disc is encoded digitally. In reading the disc, the player converts the audio back to analog when the sound comes out of the speakers. By recording and composing music at the same time, the digital songwriters neatly bypass many of the obstacles faced by his predecessors, including the prospect of publishing his own works on his website. By adapting to new technology, he's also realised another great prospect. In recording the music, he will also own the copyright in the masters. In doing so, he starts to cross into the producer-artist realm. Whatever your approach to music, you may want to consider having your own music publishing and record label. After all, digital has made this not just a possibility from a financial point of view, but an exciting reality when you consider fast-acting platforms like Sounds Magnificent, which can handle anything for you, including licensing, contracts, and just about anything else music related. Check out the link below. Have a great week.